Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over the Ram TRX, and more specifically we're going to get into the options that I would recommend getting with the truck, and then the options that I don't think are necessarily worth it. If you guys are wondering, I ordered out my truck pretty much fully loaded, so I have a pretty good idea of what has been awesome and what has pretty much been useless. And with all that being said, let's get into the video. And then also, if you guys like this type of video, I can do this on more cars. So for example, I could do this video on just like a regular Ram 1500, for example, like what options you should order and which ones you shouldn't. And so yeah, but anyways, let's get into it. So again, as always, sorry for the ripped window sticker, but I just wanted to quickly show this to you guys before we get into all of the options and what you should get and what you shouldn't get. So again, you can see total MSRP right there, $94,795. And again, sorry for the rip side, but you can see I added pretty much, well, everything you can get with the truck. So we've got the technology group that you can get with the truck. I've got the trailer tow group, advanced safety group, bed utility group, TRX carbon fiber package as well, the level 2 equipment group. And then over here you guys can see the rest of the stuff with the level 2 equipment group. And then I got the red interior accents, panoramic sunroof, off-road style running boards, the Harman Kardon sound system, the tire carrier in the back, reverse trailer steering control, and then the Ram bar as well. And so yeah, those are the options. There's not much else you can add. You can add, for example, like decals with the truck as well. And then you can also add like an engine block heater there, but this pretty much sums up everything you can add for the truck. Okay, now let's get into the options you should get and the options you shouldn't get. So first off, with the decals, I don't think the decals are worth it. Now I wrapped this truck, so obviously I didn't get the decals because I would have had to take them off just to do the wrap, so it wasn't worth it for me. But I just don't think it's worth it in general because you can get much cooler custom decals that are frankly a little bit less expensive than the factory option from most places, and so I think that would be the route to go. So yeah, probably no on the decals. Now, as for something that's a little bit more practical, for the wheels, should you get these beadlock capable wheels or should you just get the base wheels? Here's what I have to say. If you're not going to do the conversion to make these into real beadlocks, I don't think they're worth it. I think the base wheels match with the TRX a little bit better because they're just all blacked out. This has a silver ring normally. Obviously I wrapped it, and then it's got the dark gray in the center. And so I just think that the base wheels look a little bit better with the truck, and since you're not going to be using the practicality of the beadlock, it's probably just not going to be worth it. Save yourself the, what, $1,800 or whatever it is. Now, as for the side steps, I think that those are definitely worth it. It makes getting in and out of the truck really easy. It's a pretty tall truck, and so side steps I think are a must in general, so you don't run the seat. And then also, you know, if you wear pants or anything like that, trust me, it'll be worth it. If you are a little bit older and it's harder for you to get in and out of the vehicle, then maybe don't do the side steps and then do power steps. Even though this has the wider fenders in the front and in the rear, the actual body itself is the same width as a regular 1500, just like what they did with the Ford Raptor. So you actually can do, like, I think amp power steps or something like that. So if you needed a little bit of a lower step, then just don't do the side steps and then just add amp power steps or something like that after the fact. Now, as for the mirrors, if you're not going to tow, I would get these mirrors. I think they just look better with the truck. Visibility with them is still great. Now, the trailer mirrors do power fold in now, which is great. But again, I really don't like the look of them, especially when they're like flipped out. With the TRX, it just doesn't look right. It looks great on like a Cummins, but with this truck, I don't know. It looks funny. I'm not into it, but that's kind of my spiel on the mirrors. Now, for the rack, if you're not going to get these lights here at the top that you can get from Mopar or some other light accessory, I wouldn't get the rack because, well, it's pretty expensive, and if you don't have lights on it, it's completely useless. That's why I got the rack, is for lights, because I do plan on doing a ton of off-roading at night, and so yeah, I need a rack and I need lights for visibility, safety purposes, all that kind of stuff. Now, as for the tire rack carrier, I recommend this 230%. I don't know, I'm just trying to throw out a big number. This is the best option I've ever gotten on a vehicle, just period. It's so nice having the tire in the back, because normally, right, with most trucks, you've got the spare tire underneath, and the TRX is no different, so this is normally where spare tire is. And even if you just do light off-roading, tons of dirt and debris just get thrown up into the tire. Not only do they, you know, slowly damage the wheel because of all the stuff being thrown up against them, but there's a lot of stuff that gets stuck between the wheel and the chassis of the vehicle. And so then it just gets the spare tire super dirty. It's a horrible process cleaning it out, just not worth it. Whereas here in the bed, you don't have to worry about that. So yeah, definitely recommend that option. Again, 1,000,000%, like, it's just worth it. Now, the bed step here, I think it's pretty cool, but I wouldn't have gotten it. But the problem with this bed step is it doesn't just come alone. The bed step comes with the bed utility group, so it also gives you the little LED lights normally, and then also it gives you these sliders with the bed, and then also the bed liner. But with the TRX, I think the LED lights are standard, but then the bed liner's not standard, and then the little cargo tie-down hook sliders aren't standard either. I think the bed utility group is worth it because of all the stuff that it comes with, but at the same time I also am kind of like questioning that worth it-ness decision or whatever. I don't know what to word it, because this thing is super annoying. Like, I never use it personally. Like, it's great, it does help out a little bit, but it's pretty much mostly gotten in the way because it gets a ton of mud on it when I take it off road, and then sometimes it flies out as well if I'm going super fast. So yeah, I'd probably just do a spray and bed liner and ditch the bed utility group. That's the final decision. Now, coming to the interior, are the red accents worth it? Well, that is going to be up to you guys. I think they look cool, but they're very expensive. Like, you get red stitching and it's like, what, $1,000? And then also this on the seats. And so, like, if you don't need that, then save the money because it's pretty expensive. And then the carbon fiber is also like $1,000. I think that is up to you, but again, I don't necessarily think it's worth it because the trucks that don't have it still look good. This obviously looks nicer, but it's not like the trucks look bad. And I mean, there's not that many places that have it to make it really worth $1,000 is what I'd have to say. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Now, coming over here to the front of the truck. Is the Harman Kardon sound system worth it? I would definitely say so. So the Alpine sound system has a subwoofer that's just as good as the Harman Kardon sound system. However, the clarity with this just sounds that much better. And obviously you have more speakers, and so that's kind of why it does that. And also with the red accenting, it looks pretty cool there at the top. But yeah, I definitely have to say Harman Kardon sound system, 100% worth it. I would definitely invest in that option. And start her up. Gotta make sure the volume is turned all the way off. Well, even though I twisted the volume knob, the music still came on full blast. It is what it is. Anyways, the next one's the technology group heads-up display, and then also the camera mirror, stuff like that. Definitely think it's worth it. This is great visibility-wise. The rack and stuff doesn't really get in the way, but I mean, I still think this is a great piece of safety tech. It's like $1,000 for that option, so I definitely think that that is just worth it as an option. And yeah, that's all. Now, the big one is the TRX level 2 equipment group, and that pretty much gives you like nice leather everywhere. You get like the nice leather seats and just nice materials all throughout, and then they give you a bunch of technology as well. I mean, you guys can see here that you can, well, hopefully it's kind of hard to read because again, it's split up. But anyways, it gives you like a bunch of stuff like proximity key. It gives you the reclining seats there in the back as well. You get like the power tailgate, tons of stuff. But again, it's like $8,000. Is it really worth $8,000? I definitely think so for me, because I like having the power memory seats. I like having the nicer seats, but the base model seats that come with the TRX are not bad whatsoever. And so if you don't really care about all of that like luxury stuff and you're okay with this being more just like a basic pickup truck, which I'm not saying that in a bad sense. If you're okay with that though, I would just get the level 1 equipment group, or frankly, you could just go with neither, but the level 1 equipment group is a lot more reasonable from a price point. It still gives you a bunch of nice stuff. Level 2, a little bit more on the bougie side. I cannot talk with this Invisalign in. But yeah, that's kind of my general thoughts with all of that. Now the next one is the trailer steering. Now I got talked into doing this for resale value. We'll have to see. I probably am never going to sell this truck though, so I guess I'll never really see on that. But it's something that I'll never use. If you tow on a regular basis, this could potentially help out. But then again, if you tow on a regular basis, you probably don't need this anyways, because you probably know how to do that stuff yourself. So yeah, I don't know. Trailer brake soap, obviously, I think that's always worth it. That's kind of just like a general safety thing with newer vehicles. I've driven trucks without trailer brakes, and they do fine, but the trucks with trailer brakes, it definitely feels nicer. And then also with that level 2, it gives you ventilated seats, so I guess that's definitely worth it, getting these seats, because ventilated, and trust me, here in Utah summer, it's always worth it. Now, the next one is going to be the panoramic sunroof. And again, I'll leave that up to you guys. I kind of like partially regret getting this, but not at the same time. I've occasionally opened it up for filming, but like me personally driving, I never have it open, because like having a bunch of sun just beating down on my head, it's not really like a good experience. It's not really comfortable. So yeah, probably not, I guess, with the sunroof. I don't know. I mean, it's an okay option. But yeah, and then the next one is with all the safety tech. So like I got everything. So the blind spot monitoring, the adaptive cruise control, the lane keep assist, the collision warning, the pedestrian warning, all that kind of stuff. Here's what I'm kind of feel like at this point. So it's not crazy expensive to get that on the truck. So the advanced safety group is like 900, like $1,000, something like that. I think that it's worth it. The adaptive cruise control, definitely worth it, especially on long trips. I use it all the time. Lane departure, I always have off because it's annoying. It just ping pongs you between lanes. I wish that they had like steering assistance, like what I've driven in a few cars you guys have seen in reviews recently. That would be a lot nicer. Blind spot monitoring, definitely a huge plus. So overall, I think the safety tech is worth it. It's a really big truck, and so it's nice to have the safety tech so you don't damage the truck when you're parking it. Like having this whole situation with the parking sensors and the full 360 camera view and all that kind of stuff is great. If you're wondering, the mirrors are folded in, so like it does like green streaks because, yeah, the truck's bright green. But anyways, I definitely think that it is worth it. The safety tech is great. So I definitely think that option is worth it. And so I guess now let's kind of sum things up. So where this really leads us is if you take out, again, the wheels and you take out the ram bar because you're not going to take it off-road, and you don't get the red accenting in the interior, and you don't get a lot of, you know, those kind of like, I guess, frills that I got with this particular truck, but you still get the safety tech, and you still get the trailer tow option, all that kind of stuff. So you basically get a truck that still has tons of off-road capability, great road presence, looks amazing, but then it has good safety tech and all that kind of stuff. You're going to be like around $90,000 or a little bit less, which is, you know, several $1,000s less than what my truck was spec'd out to be. But I think that that is pretty much the ideal TRX for most people that are looking to buy this truck, because again, most people aren't taking these off-road. They're getting something that looks badass, that can do a little bit of towing, and obviously has crazy on-road performance with the acceleration and all that kind of stuff. And so if you take out those options, it saves you several $1,000s. And again, I think that is the spec to go for. So again, level 2 equipment group with the safety tech, and then just the trailer brakes, and then the smaller mirrors. And again, I mean, you just add it all together. The base price $69,995 plus destination, all that. You're like 88 grand roughly, somewhere around there, give or take a few. Now let's kind of sum things up with our video on what options I would order with the TRX. Obviously, I ordered out mine like this for YouTube, but kind of like what I would actually order it out if I didn't do YouTube. Hopefully that helped you guys out, and I want you guys to let me know if you want me to do more videos like this where I talk about vehicles and what options I'd recommend and which ones I think are not worth going for. And with all that being said, I'll see all of you in that next video.